Hey guys, it's Nick. We're going to go over another two-hit check combination starting from the one line in the Villabrille system. This time instead of 1-2, we're going to come in 1-4. The 4 is a Belias line across the ribs. A lot of the times as you strike, you're going to want to turn over your wrist for that little bit of extra pop. So on the bag, it should look like this. If you're striking with power. If you're striking with speed, it's going to go a little bit differently because you're not going to drop quite as much weight on your one line. The reason that in both of these videos so far I emphasize the checking hand after 2 strikes is because, generally speaking, I like to check after every second strike to start compressing the person's chest, make it a little bit harder to breathe, check the shoulder if I see their arm come up because it's hard to strike when somebody's hand is grabbing that joint. If I'm in a situation where it is appropriate to do so, I'll hit the helmet or, with a closed hand. And so I feel it's very important to work the check hand in when we're hitting the bag. You'll notice after this strike, the stick is back on your right side. This gives you a couple options here. After you've struck, you can come back in with the combination we went over last week, or, as I like to do, come in on the Villabrille 3 line, another Belias line, forehand across the ribs. So it would look like 1-2 check, or faster. The reason that I like that particular combination is because as I strike the rib cage with my backhand, so it would be coming in on their right side, if I'm lucky, it'll elicit some kind of reaction, hopefully a short intake of breath, because in tournament, and that's where most of your fights are going to happen, be honest, it's either going to be in sparring or in tournament. Most of us aren't out fighting challenge matches on the street with our sticks. In tournament, the vest that you are given or that you've bought will hang tightest around the ribs and the collarbone. So those are prime targets because those are the least padded areas. If I can hit, boom, get that reaction as they inhale, compress the chest, cause them to stutter a little bit and come in on the other side, also very thinly protected, that's pretty ideal. If they're not wearing a helmet, 1-2 check, and I'm going to try and hit them in the head, right? That's an appropriate variation of this striking pattern. So one more time, shoulder to hip. And as I strike shoulder to hip, I'm pivoting on my front leg. It's hard to see because I've got an iPhone. I don't have anyone holding the iPhone for me. Shoulder to hip, pivot, hip to hip, and I'm going to pivot again, as I said in the other video, like I'm a southpaw throwing a cross in boxing. So pivot as I'm striking hip to hip on that half beat. I'm striking out here, and then again, as I'm hitting either my follow-up to the head or to the body, I'm planting all my weight on my rear leg and pivoting hard on my front leg to get that extra power. That's what's going to get that little extra pop. So pivot, pivot, pivot. It's a lot about weight shifting. All right, thank you very much, and hope to see you guys again. Bye-bye.